Take it away.
Okay, appreciate it, Ross. Good morning, everybody, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hope everybody's ready for a great week. Hopefully everybody have some time with your families or significant others. We all got a lot to be thankful for, that's for sure. And you don't have to look very far, probably around all of our circle to just know how blessed we are and how thankful we are. All that we have to be thankful for. So looking for a great week with our team. Always enjoy this week. It's different with school. You know, I know technically I guess they have classes today, but I don't know how many actually have classes today. And they're out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so it's a little different schedule. And obviously Thanksgiving, and we have a lot of families that come into town and so forth. So, but it's just fun. It's fun being a part of a rivalry game. It's even more fun when you win, that's for sure. But it's a blessing to be a part of a historic game. And you know, this is kind of my norm in life for a long time, with 13 Alabama Auburn games, and then just growing up, kind of being as a fan, and then 23 years here. So I mean, it's just fun to be in the fight, if you will. Fun to be a part of it, and look forward to a great game on Saturday against a really good football team. Got a lot of respect for Shane and how he does things. And this I know their record's not what they wanted it to be, just like ours isn't what we want it to be. But they're a really good football team, very talented. A lot of really, really good players on both sides of the ball, and offensively it starts with their quarterback. I mean, he is an elite player. He's a great football player. Can change the game on one play. And then you see that in him all the time. So big task there, and obviously we did a poor job with him last year. And then I think all their backs are good players. They're all powerful runners. 8 is a guy that's probably the most improved player on their team. He is a take the top off, of the defense type of guy, and I mean he can run away from anybody. So he's a handful, and they've done a good job, especially as of late, getting their playmakers involved. They've gotten Sellers, the younger brother, rolling. Scored on the first play last week, and second series another big play. So I mean they've been very deliberate in making sure that their playmakers are touching the ball. A lot of shots down the field, 4 and 8, and again, but committed to running the football. And obviously 16 is a huge factor there. So I think that again, we've got to play really, really well on defense and find a way to contain this quarterback. And then on the other side, probably if not the best, certainly as good as anybody we've played. These two ends especially. I mean, these guys are really, really good, very talented, and think they're strong inside. They got good depth up front. They play a lot of guys. Got a pretty good rotation there. I think 17 and 0 are good players. 24's been around. He's played 1 million snaps, so he's a good football player as well. 15 at corner. We saw him at NC State, so. Brought in a good player there, 31, 8, all those guys. I mean, they've got a bunch of guys they play in the secondary, so they've got a good rotation, good depth, and, 4-down team that really executes their scheme well. And I think they've, given them a chance in about every game defensively. So it's a good football team, and then special teams is always a factor in this game. They've taken a couple to the house. 4 is an excellent punt returner for them, and then their best player, 8, they got deep. So he's a guy we've got to do a great job of making sure that we, don't allow any big plays in the return area. So it'll be a big challenge for us this week. But again, rivalry game, and no matter what records are, all that stuff, we all know what this one's all about this week. And again, look forward to the competition.
How much would you say Stephiylan Green's progressed? Obviously, he was available last week, but he didn't play.
Yeah, better and better every day. Yep.
This senior class has lost 2 of 3 against South Carolina. Like, it would be 3 of 4 if they were to lose. Is that an extra motivation for that group, just considering that hasn't happened here for a while? Yeah,
I mean, we've also won 2 of 4, so you can do the math however you want. We've won 8 out of 10. So you can however you want to make the math work, to make the story, you can spin it however you want. So I think nobody needs extra motivation to win this game. Game means a lot. I mean, you win, it's a great day. You lose, it's a really bad day in your life. You got to move on either way, but it's a rivalry game. It means a lot to a lot of people. So, these guys, if we've won 2 out of the last 4, they've won 2 out of the last 4. So, again, you can spin the math however you want. We've won 8 out of 10. However you want to make it work. You can look at the 100-something years of this game. Whatever you want to, whatever narrative you want to write, you can write, make the math work for you. But none of that has anything to do with extra motivation. Everybody wants to win because it's a rivalry game. It's a huge game. It's a state championship, and that's why you want to win. I don't think anybody needs any extra motivation in this game. They all will walk in highly motivated.
When you look back at last year's game and what LaNorris Sellers was able to do you have an added point of emphasis to make sure you tackle him to the ground more so than maybe a normal quarterback, just because of what you experienced last year and the frustration when you went back and looked at that game film?
Yeah, all you got to do is watch the tape. I mean, we had him tackled about 50 times. I don't know how many missed tackles we had, but it was like unbelievable. I mean, it was crazy. So, I mean, they all know what they're dealing with. That's the good thing, is at least they've got that in their head. I mean, he's hard to get down. He's strong, and you have to do a great job of staying in front of him and trying to keep him in the pocket. And you got to get 11 guys to the ball, and when somebody gets to him, you got to find a way to wrap up and hold on, because he's strong and he can break tackles. And again, that was the difference in the game last year. So they've got some experience with that, because everybody's back except for Barrett and Stephiylan and Mickens.
Dabo, you talked this week about wanting your team to win with class if you're able to win this game, no flag planting or anything like that. Can you just expand upon why that's so important to you?
Well, I mean, we should be better. Both sides should be better. I mean, it's just the right thing to do. I mean, it's not. Again, been a part of these games for a long time, and I just don't think I don't think it leads to anything good. So win the game, celebrate, all that stuff, but the extracurricular stuff on people's fields, like, we need to be better on both sides. And celebrate with your fans and all that stuff, but disrespecting the logo, things like that, like, we all should be better in that regard. And I just don't think and bad things come from that. We almost had a fight last year that was nasty, and we don't need that. And I've been a part of that. I mean, 04. I mean, that was a bad scene. And compete your butt off, dislike each other, whatever, but we need to win with class and lose with class. The people in the arena. Now, I can't control all the stuff outside of the arena and all that, but I think the people in the arena, we have to compete and I think respect the game and the history of this game better. And that's both sides. That's not just them or us. It's both sides. And it was a nasty scene last year. Shane and I talked about that and both agreed on it, and do everything I can, if we're fortunate to win the game, to make sure that we don't have anything like that.
Is it hard to balance that emotion with this game being so much highly touted? Is it kind of hard for players to kind of balance that emotions of the game to maybe not trying to taunt if they were to win the game?
I don't think so. I mean, I think it's just something that we have to emphasize. I mean, I think it's just what's right, and we got to do a good job as adults in making sure that we set the tone in that regard.
What makes that such a difficult place to play? What makes that environment a fun one to play in, but a difficult place to play?
I mean, their fans do a great job. I mean, they're loud. They show up. I mean, and it's not just our game. They do. I think they do a great job in supporting their team. And I mean, I've been here a long time, and they always have, regardless of what season they're having. I think they've always been incredibly supportive of their team, from my view. And certainly when we've gone down there, whether they've had a great year or not, I mean, it's a great I mean, it's a loud environment. And then when you throw in the fact that it's a rivalry game, I mean, it's even more intensity added to it. So it's fun. It's fun. I mean, I love being a part of games like this. I love going on the road and having, a hostile crowd. I mean, that's just part of it. That's part of, the fun of being in rivalry games.
Is there a moment that stands out to you from your time playing down there that's a favorite memory, or the fans getting involved or anything like that?
I mean, the first time I went there, I think was '93. I was a GA at Alabama. And they had just made that movie, I think it was called, like The Program or something, like it was a football movie, I think that's what it was called. And I just remember pulling in, I was like, this was the stadium in the movie. I think that was the stadium. I was like, that was my first memory of it. But and we won the game. But I just remember even then, I was like, wow, this is. I had never been there because South Carolina hadn't been in the league that long. Because I know it came like maybe my senior year. 92 was my senior year because we played them. That was my last home game in Bryant-Denny was against South Carolina. It was my last ever home game in Tuscaloosa. When I was there, we played in Birmingham too. We played back and forth. But 93 was my first time there. And then I went and visited Woody. Woody was a coach there for a year in 98. And I came up and spent a day with him and a weekend with he and Ann. When Brad Scott was the head coach there. Didn't go to a game. But, I mean, I got a lot of great memories. I mean, got some bad ones too. But the crowd's always been there. Great. Obviously, my first game down there was the 63-17 game. That was my very first game as a coach at Clemson. And that was just a crazy game. I mean, we just hit some big explosive plays right out of the gate and kind of they got in a hole. And I've had some tough ones down there. Was it 2013? And I think we had 5 or 6 turnovers. That was and we had a really good team, but we could not hang on the ball to save our life. Had some good moments and some tough moments. But regardless of what's happened on the scoreboard, it's always been a great environment to go compete.
Speaking of those tough moments, that 5-game losing streak that you've had, you've brought it up a couple times this season, but now kind of looking back and reflecting on this season, how has that helped you as a coach to look back at that time that you went through adversity?
Oh, man, yeah. Well, I mean, I think just as a person, when you can look back on things in your life that you went through, it gives you more confidence for where you are and your future. I think that's just in life in general, certainly in competition. Like I said, tough times don't last. Tough people do. I mean, and that was a really tough time. I mean, because it didn't matter what we did. It was, we just were struggling in that game, and most of it. I think in the 5-game stretch, I want to say we had 15 turnovers to their 3. I believe that's accurate. So, it's, take a rocket scientist to figure out, that's a problem, and especially in a rivalry game. So, and then we turned that around. And if you look at, we've won 8 out of the last 10, Chapel. I know you want to create a different narrative, and we've won 2 out of the last 4, but we've won a lot of games in this rivalry, a lot. A lot. When we turned it around, you look at the turnover margin, and it's different. We either won it even. There might have been one year we lost it, but we still won it. It's been been some, but it was a close game. And then last year, I think we were +1. I think it's the only time that we've won the margin and lost. And so you say, well, how did that happen? Well, quarterback rushed for 178 yards, couldn't tackle him. 2 touchdowns were scramble, unbelievable individual plays, and we had 3 times in the scoring zone and got no points. That's how you lose those games. So the turnover margin is critical, but yeah, I mean, that was a tough time. I mean, because we were a good team. I mean, 2009, we won the division, played for the championship, lost the game. 2010, we weren't very good. We were tough, and we were a tough out, and we had 5 games by 6 points or less. We were in it, and we were competing. We were tough, but we just kind of learning how to win. And then in 11, you know, we won the league, won 10 games, got to the Orange Bowl, all that stuff. But, you know, it's like win 10, won the ACC. It was like, yeah, but you lost to the Gamecocks, you know. And then in 12, we were 11-2, but we lost to the Gamecocks. And, you know, had a really good team. And then in 13, beat Ohio State in the Orange Bowl. We're 11-2, I think, in 13. But we lost, you know, and so it's like, you know, it's like we're a good team, but you lost that game, and that was the game again. That was the one that just, I've never really been anything apart. I mean, even all the way to the last play, we had a chance, and we fumbled it again. I think Taj had the last fumble, or Adam Humphries, one of the two. And, you know, so that was a tough time. I got a lot of letters. I got a lot of emails. I got a lot of letters from people, you know, and I got a lot of people that came up to me in the offseason and say, Coach, listen, I'd rather go 7-5 and beat the Gamecocks than go 11-2 and whatever. So all those people get their chance this year. So we're just trying to be an equal opportunity pleaser here. I had a lot of them people. Come up to me. So hopefully they'll still feel that way if we can find a way to win the game. My bet is they won't, but such is our life in sports.
Does it feel any different to you? Because, I mean, for so many years you've had something kind of big to play for. After the South Carolina game, you still had a big apple out there in front of you. But now, I mean, you know, whatever bowl game you end up going to, it's not what you've kind of been used to. Does it feel any different going into this game because of that?
No, I mean, that's just your season. I mean, we've been to 7 playoffs in 10 years, but we've been in the league championship 8 out of the last 10 years. But we haven't always been there, and we're not in. I mean, last time we were down there, we weren't going to the championship, but we were looking forward to a bowl game, and we had a great bowl game against what was it? 23 was that Kentucky? That was a lot of fun. You know, 21, we didn't go to the championship. We played Iowa State in the Cheez-It Bowl. That's one of the funnest bowls I've been a part of. We had a ball, had a great time. It was a fun win. So no, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're in the playoff, if you're in the ACC championship game, whatever. It's all about this game. I mean, it really is. And I hope that doesn't get lost as football changes and evolves. And that's actually something that you worry about a little bit. You know, games like this being affected. The more things expand, and all of a sudden you've got a big game next week, or, you know, that's instead of a championship game, it's the first round of the playoffs, which is what you see in the NFL, right? And you got, all of a sudden, you don't play your starters or whatever. And, you know, I hope that doesn't get lost down the road, but who knows? But for me, it's never been about, well, we're in the championship next week or we're going to the playoff. It's about this game. And, I mean, I've been here 17 years, and we've had 9. We've been to the championship 10 times in my 17 full seasons. So 7 of those years, just like this one. So it's just whatever that season presents. But it doesn't change anything for me for the importance of this game and, you know, the value of this moment. I mean, I think, that's sometimes we don't realize the value and the importance of the moment you're in until it becomes a memory, right? You know, and like, you want this to be a good memory, not a bad one. So you better be locked in the moment that you're in.
placement and how this season will be assessed at the end of the year? What is the difference between finishing with 6 versus 7?
I have no idea. It just means 6, 7. Is that what we got all that? Is that a setup? Am I supposed to just jump in on that? Yeah, I'm in the know. I got 126, 17 to 23-year-olds. So is that a setup question? I don't even know what that means, by the way. I have no idea. I have no idea what that means.
Did you do it on a Wednesday Zoom a few weeks ago? Was that intentional when you did it?
It was not.
That was not.
That was not. It was absolutely not. And the only reason I knew that was my players brought that to my attention. I don't even remember what we were talking about, but I have no idea. I have no idea. You can ask all the people. I just win the game. We're thankful that we punched the ticket to the bowl. I mean, like you say, oh well, that ain't no big deal. Well, it's 27 years in a row, and I think the only other team, and it's 6 wins 27 years in a row, and I think the only other teams are Oklahoma, Georgia, and Ohio State. There's 135 schools, so if that was so easy to do, I mean, that's pretty crazy to have, it's not what we set out to do, but from where we were to rally back is a lot. And again, 30 times in Clemson history, out of 130 teams, they've started 1-3 or worse, and we're only the 4th team to rally back and get 6 wins. So, again, not what we set out to do, but all you can do is respond to where you are, and these guys have responded and battled, and so I have no idea where we would go. Really don't care. I'm just glad that we have an opportunity to go play in the postseason and have one more game. Find a way to win a game. I mean, but I'm proud of these guys. I mean, you look at the NFL, the Ravens started 1-5, and I think they're 6-5 now. And because they've kept playing, now they got more games. Like we're running out of games here, but I'm proud of how they have battled, and they can only play the games they got. So we just want to try to finish the very best that we can. So wherever that takes us, it takes us, and we'll show up and get ready to play and go play a worthy opponent.
You didn't give up a sack to their ends last year, and they were pretty good. Do you feel like that's a game? What made you guys so successful in protecting last year, and then do you feel like that's something that you can replicate this year?
I hope so. I mean, it's good players. I mean, Blake Miller's a really good player, just like their good players are. Tristan Lee's a really good player, just like their players are. I mean, we have good players too. They got their job done in that game. And again, we did some good things. We just didn't finish.
Obviously, it was, I don't know if it was the whole game, but Harris, Sewell, and Collin Sadler, when you guys went back and watched the tape, how do you feel like they played back in the
Last week?
Yeah.
I thought our ones were great, both sides. At 77 yards at the half, and explosive in the first quarter. And after that, we started moving guys around, and thought they did good.
How much of a role did last year against South Carolina, the inability to get Sellers on the ground, how much of a role did that play in your decision to make a change in defensive coordinator ultimately?
Not much. I mean, Wes can't tackle them. Guys are right there. I mean, it's just there's a lot that went into that, but that wasn't the sole reason. There was just a lot of reasons that felt like it was just time for a change.
South Carolina's now had 2 games with a new offensive play caller in Mike Furrey. Have you seen any difference in what they're trying to do or get to offensively in the last 2 games?
I mean, I think the biggest thing, they've made a real concerted effort to get the ball, to get touches to their playmakers. And obviously you've seen Sellers, the younger brother, kind of become a bigger role, become a bigger focus for where the ball's going. And again, just pushing the ball down the field. I think that's probably been the biggest thing. But, just 2 games.
You talked about making Chris Denson live in practice. How often have you done that with scholarship quarterbacks?
We've done that several times over the years with our, 3rd and 4th guys, many times. But with him, it's been a while since we've had a guy like that in here. But we've done it most of the season.
How much is obviously he's very different from Sellers in terms of his makeup, but I mean, does he help at all in terms of preparing for scramble?
Yeah, he does. He definitely helps. Unfortunately, he got, I don't know what, he got his foot stepped on yesterday, scout team, so wasn't able to finish. But that was, he was over there wearing number 16 for him, so don't really know how bad it is. I just know he wasn't able to finish practice yesterday.
With that context,
But he's different. I mean, he's just Sellers is bigger, but they're both explosive. That's the similarities.
with Denson, obviously you mentioned the foot injury just now, but has he worked himself into a spot where he could have a package against the Gamecocks on Saturday?
I would, if you think I would answer that? Huh? You're gonna ask it though, right? Yeah, no, yeah, I wouldn't answer that if that was the case, but you never know.
You're underdogs in this game for the first time in 12 years. Does you share that with your players? Does that like a little bit of meat to throw at the guys?
I don't ever talk about that stuff. I don't talk about that. We just talk about the game. What we got to do to win the game. If we're under, I'm sure somebody else will tell them that. They don't need me to tell them that.
You surprised you're underdog?
I mean, not really. I mean, we're going to a tough place. They're at home. They beat us last year. I mean, they're good. They're not surprised. Nothing surprises me anymore. There's very little that surprises me these days. Very little.
LaNorris, his rushing totals are down compared to last year, I guess. He's still a threat with his legs, but what have you kind of seen in the film that kind of makes him, with his totals being lower compared to last season?
You have to ask Shane that. I mean, he's a great player to me. I think he's special. Yeah, as far as evaluating their offense and all that stuff, I'll let him do that. I think he's as good a player as he's ever been. He's a problem. That's my opinion.
How much different do you expect Cade to be this time going down there? Last time when he was down there, didn't play as well. The offense didn't play as well. Having seen your quarterback going into a hostile environment, your confidence in Cade?
Yeah, I mean, I was confident when we went down there a couple years ago with Cade, and I mean, we did what we needed to do to win the game. It wasn't a great game by either team. We just found a way to win it. But that was Whitesy. We had I think we made a bunch of kicks in that game. What were we like? How many did he make? At least three field goals in that game. So, I mean, Cade's got a lot more experience now. He's been on the road a bunch, and he's played a lot of football. So, you don't win these games if your best players don't play well. That just comes with it. This is a championship game. I mean, this is a championship game. That's the blessing about, a game like this is you get a chance to play for a championship every single year when you're a part of a rivalry game like this. So they hand a trophy out after this one. So best players got to play well. Got to coach well and got to play well.
How does Thanksgiving factor in and impact the preparation?
It doesn't impact Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I mean, that's the same. Thursday's a little different, but again, you got a little more meeting time because there's no school on Wednesday or Thursday. So, always puts a little bit more on the coaches because you don't have a full Thursday like you normally do. You lose a couple hours. So the team comes in at I think our team meeting is at 10:30 on Thursday. So you lose a couple hours of prep. So you got to kind of grab that between Sunday and Wednesday night, to kind of stay on schedule with your prep process. But they'll come in at 10:30 on Thursday, and we have a normal Thursday practice, which isn't a long practice, but it's still a very important day from a prep and script standpoint. And then so we usually finish about 3. So typically we get done about 5:45 on Thursdays. So it's always a little shorter day. So again, just a couple hours that impacts your day. But we try to finish a little earlier because most of their parents are in town, and make sure our players are somewhere. They're either at my house or one of the staff members' house, coach's house, with a teammate or their girlfriend, whatever. We make sure that they're all somewhere and nobody's alone on Thanksgiving. And we do our team meal Wednesday night. We always have our family dinner nights on Wednesday night. So that's just our family Thanksgiving night as a team. And then that way on Thursday, everybody's got a little time to go and celebrate Thanksgiving. And then we come back in here on Friday morning and we rock and roll. We usually get the Swinney tree out, get that going on Thursdays. That's kind of our little afternoon routine.
Maybe I should ask Kathleen, but what's on the Swinney menu Thanksgiving?
I mean, the usuals, turkey, you have all the stuff. My mom, she's in town. She makes us amazing chicken and dressing, the turkey, beans, macaroni and cheese, potatoes, everything. We'll have a big group over there. So she'll probably start today, I'm sure, get going. It'll be fun. Always enjoy Thanksgiving.
How much of a weapon can Sammy Brown be just as a quarterback spy? I know you used him in that spot this year, and he was pretty effective against LaNorris last year doing that.
Yeah, I mean, just got to be able to get his job done, and not just him. I mean, everybody's got to spy this guy. I mean, again, you can't overrush him. You can't lose your leverage on him, because if you lose your leverage on him, you're not catching him. I mean, there's just very few people that are going to be able to go and get him down without him getting a big gain. So when you do spy him, you've got to stay in phase with him. You can't get caught up in the fray. You've got to make sure you've got some separation to where you can react to him, and again, not get out leveraged. So it doesn't matter who you are. There's very few guys that can go catch him if he gets leverage on you. So, and again, it's not just him. It's everybody. It's your D tackles not burying their heads, knowing where he is, getting off blocks, eyes on him, because he's slippery. He's just a really good player, and he doesn't get enough credit. I mean, this guy can push the ball down the field, man. I mean, he can rip it. I mean, like some of these throws they are a long way. And that number 8, I mean, he'll just run right on out of the stadium, right? I mean, this guy can go. I mean, he's unbelievable how fast that guy is. And you saw it against A&M when he just left everybody. He caught just a hook. And you think, oh, okay, we're going to catch this guy, and then you don't. I promise you, they got fast people out there at A&M. So he's and then there's other times, might have been early Ole Miss, I think it was Ole Miss, where, I mean, he just threw it as far as he could throw it down the field. And so he can launch it. He can launch it. You just got to not let him get comfortable. Got to do everything you can to change the looks up, and you got to win matchup. Got to win your matchup.
How much has identifying Corian as a reliable down-to-down nickel eliminated stress, especially in a matchup where the horizontal and vertical can be tested for safeties, linebackers, everybody on that second, third level?
Yeah, we're proud of Corian. I mean, he's really come on, and he's finding his confidence. He's still a developing player, but he's tough. He's gritty. He's a tackler, and he can run. I mean, so he's got all the attributes that we saw in the recruiting process. He just tore his ACL, and had a year to kind of find himself a little bit and get back to where he's healthy, and then it was just getting his confidence back. So it's been fun. I mean, he's playing, obviously he can play corner, but I think he's really grown into that nickel role and has gained a lot of confidence. So that's a big plus for us, not just for this game, finishing this season, but for next year. And I mean, he's just a redshirt freshman, so he's really been a bright spot for us. Again, haven't had a great season from what we had expected and hoped for, but he's been a bright spot for sure.
I think you had mentioned on Saturday that the secondary is much improved since the new
Yep.
game. Just what's been the most noticeable difference?
Yeah, just not as many busts. I mean, the reason we're where we are in pass defense right now, it's not because people just running by us and making a bunch of plays. It's because we just had some really bad busts with guys running wide open and, blitzing the safety and the corner. That's no bueno. That ain't no good. Bad stuff like that. Just some situational things that we did a poor job of that all of a sudden, those are chunk plays. And so these last 3 games in particular, I just think they've all just grown and taken ownership. I think the communication has been much better, in our meetings and also on the practice field and in the game. So, it's a new defense, and there's been some new terminology and new things, and I think they've just gotten better, over the course of the season. So that part has been, again, a plus these last few weeks.
You said you changed up the meetings on the defense?
Yeah, just Tom and how we're kind of installing some things and just, making sure that we don't get some things lost in translation and just making sure that, I think we communicate it better in the meetings the way he wants it. I think that's been a positive.
Antonio obviously made his NFL decision known post-game Saturday. Not to scoop other guys, but do you have a sense for all your other guys who have pending NFL decisions, kind of where they're leaning?
A couple, but yeah, I'm not going to steal anybody's thunder whether they're coming back or leaving. I think we'll have both of those. But yeah, Antonio's. He came back last year for this to be his last year. He was almost gone last year, but. Getting all the information, it's worth it to come back and play another year, and I know he's thankful that he did. He's improved. He's a graduate, going to be a graduate here in a couple weeks, so really proud of him. And going to be a great pro. Going to be a great one. Look forward to watching him for many years to come.
Anyone else for Coach? All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, see y'all down there. Happy Thanksgiving.